3 months ago, I watched my parents swing a baseball bat through a complete stranger's living room, thinking they were destroying my life. Turns out, they were handing me the greatest gift I never knew I needed. Freedom from the people who were supposed to love me most. I'm Maribel Knox, and I need to tell you about the day I discovered that sometimes the most toxic people in your life share your DNA. It all started with $147,000 and a family dinner that would change everything forever. But to understand why that money almost destroyed my life, I need to take you back 5 years to when I still believed that blood meant loyalty and love was supposed to be unconditional. I was 28 then, living in a studio apartment that was basically a glorified closet in Redwood Falls, Minnesota. Every single day for 4 years, I'd wake up in that cramped space and remind myself why I was doing this, why I was eating canned beans for dinner, why I was taking the bus instead of owning a car, why I was buying clothes from thrift stores and celebrating birthdays with gas station cupcakes. $147,000. That's what freedom looked like to me. Enough money to buy a house. To finally have a space that was truly mine. Every dollar represented a choice, a sacrifice, a dream deferred but not abandoned. Late nights debugging code until my eyes burned. Weekend freelance projects while my friends were out living their lives. It was all worth it because I had found her, the perfect 3-bedroom craftsman with hardwood floors and a kitchen that caught the morning light like liquid gold. Every Saturday, I'd drive to my parents' house in Hollis Ridge, Iowa for our weekly family tradition. Mom would make her famous meatloaf. Dad would complain about his back while secretly loving having both his daughters around the table. And Celeste, my older sister by 3 years, would show up with Brandon, her husband, who always seemed to be chasing the next get-rich scheme that would make him wealthy without actually working. That particular Saturday in October felt different from the moment I walked in. There was this electricity in the air, this sense that something big was about to happen. Celeste and Brandon were whispering in the corner like conspirators. Mom kept shooting me these strange looks, part excitement, part calculation. Dad couldn't quite meet my eyes during his usual complaints about the neighbor's dog. I was too caught up in my own excitement to pay attention to the warning signs. I had pictures of the house on my phone, ready to share my joy with the people who were supposed to celebrate my success. Celeste has some wonderful news, Mom announced as we settled around the dining room table. Her voice carrying that particular tone she used when she was about to ask for a favor. What happened next still makes my stomach drop when I think about it. Celeste didn't just tell us about her new business venture. She gave us a full presentation. Printed charts, graphs, projected revenue streams, market analysis. This was her 3rd attempt at entrepreneurship. And apparently she'd learned nothing from the first 2 spectacular failures that had forced my parents to remortgage their house to pay off her debts. I've learned from my mistakes, she said. Her eyes bright with that dangerous combination of desperation and delusion that I'd seen too many times before. This time I have everything figured out. I just need capital for initial development and marketing. Brandon nodded beside her like the perfect supportive husband, playing his role to perfection. Projections show we could double our investment within 2 years. That's when they all turned to look at me. Not casual glances, deliberate expectant stares that made something cold settle in my chest. Why are you all looking at me like that? I asked, though part of me already knew the answer. Celeste's voice took on that sweet, manipulative tone she'd been perfecting since we were kids. Well, I know you're saving for a house, and Mom mentioned. You have about $147,000 saved up. The room went silent except for the sound of my heartbeat pounding in my ears. They had discussed my finances. They had calculated exactly how much I was worth to them. I wasn't their daughter, their sister. I was a walking ATM with a convenient family connection. I'm not investing my house money in your business, Celeste. The words came out sharper than I intended, but honestly, I was shocked by the audacity. This wasn't a small favor between siblings. This was my entire future. They were asking me to gamble on Celeste's track record of spectacular business failures. Celeste's face crumpled like I'd physically struck her. But if you help me now, in 2 years, I'll give you back $294,000. You could buy an even better house then. Actually laughed. I couldn't help it. The absurdity of it all. The woman who'd failed at business twice, asking me to trust her with my life savings based on nothing but optimism and pie-in-the-sky projections. Celeste, you've already failed at business twice. Maybe it's time to stop with these schemes and get a regular job like the rest of us. That's when everything exploded. Celeste burst into tears and ran from the room like we were still teenagers having a dramatic fight. Brandon called me heartless and followed her. And my parents, the people who had raised me, who had supposedly loved me unconditionally for 28 years, immediately turned on me like I was the villain in the story. How could you be so cruel to your sister? Mom's voice was ice cold, cutting through me like a blade. Celeste is more talented than you'll ever be. You're just jealous of her success. Success. I wanted to scream. What success? The 2 bankruptcies, the creditors calling their house at all hours, the stress that had given Dad panic attacks and sent him to the emergency room. But Dad delivered the killing blow. You give Celeste that money or you're no longer part of this family. I stared at these people, these strangers wearing my parents' faces, and realized that to them I had never been a daughter. It was a bank account with a heartbeat, a resource to be tapped when needed. I'm not giving her my money, I said quietly. Then get out of our house and don't come back. So I did. I walked out of that house, drove home to my cramped apartment, and changed my phone number the next day. If they wanted to cut me out of the family over money, I'd make it official. 1 year later I bought that house. The same beautiful craftsman with hardwood floors and morning sunlight streaming through the kitchen windows in Cedar Glen, Oregon. I set up my home office in the spare bedroom and discovered what peace actually felt like. No more Saturday dinners walking on eggshells. No more listening to Celeste's latest delusional business plans. No more being treated like a human ATM by the people who were supposed to love me. Through mutual friends, I heard that Celeste's business was actually successful this time. She bought a big house, was traveling constantly with Brandon, posting pictures of their lavish lifestyle all over social media. I was genuinely happy for her, but I felt zero regret about protecting my financial future. For 5 years I lived without them. 5 peaceful, drama-free years where I advanced in my career, learned to enjoy my own company, and slowly built a life that felt authentically mine. I even met someone, Elliot Vaughn, this incredible man I connected with through a professional networking group. He lived in another state, but we made the long-distance relationship work because he was everything my family had never been. Kind, stable, supportive, someone who valued me for who I was, not what I could provide. Elliot would visit me, I'd visit him, and we started talking seriously about a future together. I was actually considering selling my house to move to his state and start fresh somewhere new with someone who genuinely cared about my happiness. Then on a Tuesday morning that started like any other, I got an email that changed everything. Came to my old email address, the one I barely checked anymore. The sender's name made my stomach drop. Mom Maribel, we need to see you urgently. This is a matter of life and death. Please come home. Despite everything, these people had raised me. If someone was dying, if Dad was having a heart attack or Mom had cancer, I needed to know. So, I wrote back short and direct, I'll come by this Saturday. Saturday morning, I sat in my car outside their house for 10 minutes, trying to gather courage. The neighborhood looked smaller than I remembered, shabbier somehow. But what really caught my attention were the 2 cars in the driveway. Celeste's brand new Lamborghini and Brandon's pristine BMW, both expensive as hell. So, this wasn't just about my parents. This was a family intervention. Mom opened the door, looking older, more tired, with new lines around her eyes that hadn't been there 5 years ago. Maribel, she said, her voice shaky with emotion. Thank you for coming. The whole family was assembled in the living room like some twisted reunion special. Dad in his usual chair looking grim, Celeste on the couch next to Brandon, her eyes red from crying. They all looked genuinely happy to see me, but also terrified. What's going on? I asked, staying standing because I didn't want to get comfortable. Your email said this was life and death. Mom immediately started tearing up. It's about Celeste. She's in serious trouble. Her business went under 3 months ago. The bank took her house. She owes money to some very dangerous people. I felt that familiar mixture of vindication and genuine sadness. Vindication because I'd been right about her business prospects all along. Sadness because losing your home genuinely sucks, even when it's the predictable result of your own terrible decisions. I'm sorry to hear that, I said carefully. But what does this have to do with me? Celeste finally spoke up, her voice barely a whisper. $186,000. Who do you owe $186,000 to? Brandon answered. Private investors. They're not the kind of people who accept "I'll pay you later" as an answer. Celeste started crying again. They've been calling, making threats. They know where we're staying now. They know our routines. We're scared. Maribel really scared. I felt bad for them. I really did. But I still didn't understand why I was sitting in this living room. That's terrible. But I still don't see what you want from me. Mom dropped the bomb. We know you bought a house. Nice one. We think you should sell it and help Celeste pay off these debts. I stared at her like she'd grown a second head. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Or young? Mom continued as if I hadn't spoken. You can earn another house. Celeste and Brandon could be seriously hurt if they don't pay this money back. I looked around the room at all of them. These people who had abandoned me for 5 years, who had told me I wasn't family anymore, who had never once called to check if I was alive or dead. So, let me get this straight, I said slowly, my voice getting colder with each word. You kicked me out of the family 5 years ago because I wouldn't give Celeste money for her business. Now that business has failed spectacularly. She's in debt to dangerous people and you want me to sell my house to bail her out? Family helps family, Dad said with a straight face. Family. I laughed, but there was no humor in it. You told me I wasn't family anymore. Remember? You cut me off completely. Celeste was sobbing harder now. I know we messed up before, but this is different. These people aren't going to just take us to court. They're going to hurt us. Then maybe you should have thought about that before you borrowed money from loan sharks. Brandon got angry. You have no idea what kind of pressure we're under. You're right. You don't. But I noticed 2 very expensive cars in the driveway. Maybe start by selling those and paying off some of the debt. We need those cars for work. Celeste snapped. You need them more than you need to be safe from dangerous creditors. The circular logic was making my head spin. They were asking me to destroy my financial security to fix problems they had created while refusing to make any sacrifices themselves. Mom got right in my face. This house you bought, if you sold it, you could pay off Celeste's debts and still have money left over for a nice apartment. A nice apartment. I was getting really angry now. Mom, I worked my ass off for that house. I saved every penny for years. I lived like a monk so I could afford it. I'm not selling it to fix Celeste's mess. She's your sister. Dad said she's also a grown woman who made her own choices. Bad choices, apparently. Celeste jumped up from the couch. You're supposed to help me. You're supposed to care about what happens to me. Where was this family loyalty 5 years ago when you all told me to get lost? That was different, Mom said. How was it different? You didn't want to help me keep my money then. And I don't want to help you with your money problems now. The room went quiet. Everyone was staring at me like I was the unreasonable one, like I was the villain in their twisted family drama. I'm not doing this, I said finally. Celeste got herself into this mess and she can get herself out. If you want to help her so badly, sell your house and give her the money. Mom gasped like I'd slapped her. This is the only house we have. We're old, Maribel. We can't just start over like you can. Then I guess you understand exactly how I feel about my house. I started walking toward the door. Celeste called after me. You're making a huge mistake. These people don't mess around. I turned back to look at her. Neither do I. I left them all sitting there and drove home feeling lighter than I had in years. As soon as I got back to my house, I blocked Mom's email address. I was done with their drama forever. For about a week, things were peaceful. Elliot called every day, supportive and understanding as always. You did the right thing. He kept saying they can't just show up after 5 years and demand you fix their problems. I was actually feeling pretty good about my decision. Sure, I felt bad that Celeste was in trouble, but that wasn't my fault or my responsibility. I had my own life to worry about. Then Tuesday morning happened and everything changed in ways I never could have predicted. I was in my kitchen making coffee, looking forward to a productive workday when I heard a car door slam outside. I looked out the window and nearly dropped my mug. Mom and Dad were walking up my driveway like they owned the place. "What are you doing here?" I asked when I opened the door. "How did you even get my address?" Mom looked proud of herself. "Celeste hired a private investigator." "A private investigator? Are you serious right now?" Dad was looking around at my house with calculating eyes, and I could practically see the dollar signs spinning in his head. "This is a nice place," he said. "Get off my property." But Mom pushed past me and walked right into my house like she had every right to be there. Dad followed her. I was so shocked by their audacity that I just stood there for a second. "Don't make yourselves comfortable," I said. "You're not staying." Mom was walking around my living room, touching things, examining everything like she was conducting a real estate appraisal. "If you sold this house, you could easily pay off Celeste's debt and still have plenty left over for a smaller place. Maybe a nice apartment. I already told you I'm not selling my house." "But look at all the space," Dad said, spreading his arms out. "It's just you living here. You don't need all this room. What I need is none of your business." Mom turned to me with tears in her eyes again. "Celeste is really scared. Myrtle. These men called her yesterday. They know where she and Brandon are staying now. They said if they don't get their money by the end of the month, something bad is going to happen. Then maybe Celeste should go to the police." "The police can't help with this," Dad said. "These aren't the kind of people who care about restraining orders." I was getting more frustrated by the second. "That's still not my problem. You both need to leave now." "We're not leaving until you agree to help your sister," Mom said, crossing her arms like a stubborn child. "Then I'm calling the police." I pulled out my phone and started dialing. Dad grabbed my arm. "Don't be ridiculous. Let go of me." I shook him off. "I'm calling them right now if you don't get out of my house." They could tell I was serious. Mom started crying harder. "Fine, but this isn't over, Maribel. If something happens to Celeste, it's on your head. And if something happens to my financial security because I bail out her bad decisions, that would be on my head too. At least this way, only the person who made the mess deals with the consequences." Dad pointed his finger at me. "You're going to regret this. Family is supposed to stick together. You didn't think that 5 years ago." After they finally left, I called the realtor I'd been talking to about maybe selling my house to move in with Elliot. "Hey, it's Maribel. Remember we talked about putting my house on the market? I need to sell it as fast as possible. I'm willing to take a 7% discount if that helps move things along." "Well, that's interesting timing. I actually have a buyer who's been looking in your area. With that kind of discount, I think he'd be very interested." 3 days later, he called me back with an offer. It was lower than I'd hoped, but fair considering the quick sale. I accepted immediately. Elliot was confused when I told him. "Why the rush?" I explained about my parents showing up at my house uninvited, their threats, their refusal to leave when asked. "I don't trust them, Elliot. I think they're going to keep harassing me. Maybe even do something crazy. I'd rather sell the house and get the money somewhere safe where they can't see it or use it as leverage against me." "That's probably smart. And hey, this means you can come stay with me sooner than we planned." That made me smile for the first time in days. "Are you okay with me staying at your place while I look for a new house in your area?" "Are you kidding? I've been hoping you'd move here. This just speeds up our timeline." The closing happened fast. Within a week, all the paperwork was done and the house was officially sold. Elliot drove out to help me pack everything up and move it to his place in Aspen Ridge, Colorado. It felt good to have him there, to not be dealing with the stress alone. As we were loading the last of my boxes into the moving truck, I looked back at the house one more time. I'd been genuinely happy there. I'd worked incredibly hard to afford it, but I felt good about my decision to sell. I was starting a new chapter with Elliot, and my family couldn't use my house as emotional blackmail anymore. "You okay?" Elliot asked, putting his arm around me. "Yeah, I'm good. Let's get out of here." We drove off together and I felt this huge weight lift off my shoulders. Whatever happened with Celeste and her debt problems, it wasn't going to involve me or my money. I was finally free of their drama for good. Living with Elliot turned out to be incredible. His place was comfortable and welcoming, and working remotely meant I could settle into a routine pretty quickly. We spent our evenings looking at houses online, planning our future together. For the first time in months, I felt genuinely happy and completely stress-free. I'd been living with Elliot for about a month when my phone rang one Tuesday morning. The caller ID showed a number I didn't recognize, but it had my old hometown area code. "Is this Maribel Knox?" "Yes." "Who's calling?" "This is Officer Daniels with the Hawthorne Police Department. I'm calling about an incident involving your parents, Raymond and Denise Knox." My blood went cold. What kind of incident? They were arrested last night for breaking and entering and destruction of property. The homeowner wants to press charges. I was completely confused. Breaking and entering where? The address they broke into is listed as your former residence. Is 412 Willow Lane a house you used to own? I sold that house a month ago. What were my parents doing there? That's what we're trying to figure out. They caused significant damage to the interior of the home, destroyed furniture, broke windows, spray-painted obscenities on the walls. The new owner came home to find them in his living room, smashing his coffee table with a baseball bat. I sat down hard on Elliot's couch, my legs suddenly unable to support me. "Are you serious?" "Very serious. The damage is estimated at around $47,000. Your parents claimed they thought it was still your house and that you'd wronged them somehow. They said they were getting back at you for abandoning your family." I told Officer Daniels everything. About Celeste's debts. About them showing up at my house uninvited. About the 5-year family drama that had led to this moment. He listened patiently and took detailed notes. "So they didn't know you'd sold the house?" "Obviously not. They probably went there to vandalize my property as revenge for not giving Celeste money. Instead, they destroyed some innocent person's home." "That's exactly what it looks like. The problem is they destroyed someone else's property instead of yours." After I hung up, I told Elliot what had happened. He was as shocked as I was. "That's insane, Maribel. They could have been shot. What if the homeowner had been armed and thought they were dangerous intruders?" I hadn't even thought of that. My parents could have been killed over this stupid vendetta. Over the next few weeks, I got regular updates from the police and from mutual friends back home about what was happening with my parents' case. The legal proceedings were moving forward, and the reality of their situation was becoming clear. Mom and Dad were facing serious criminal charges, but their lawyer managed to work out a plea deal. They admitted guilt in exchange for avoiding jail time, but they had to pay full restitution to the homeowner they terrorized. $47,000 for property damage, plus legal fees, plus court costs. It ended up being close to $71,000 total. My friend Lydia called me with the complete story a few weeks later. "Maribel, your parents had to sell their house. They couldn't afford the restitution any other way." The irony was absolutely staggering. They had sold the house they claimed was their only asset, the one they said they were too old to replace. "And here's the kicker," Lydia continued. "After paying everything they owed to the court and the homeowner, they gave the remaining money to Celeste for her debt problems. So they had ended up doing exactly what they demanded I do, but with their own house instead of mine." "That's not even the best part," Lydia said. "Celeste's creditor problems. Turns out they weren't as scary as she made them sound. The dangerous people were just a legitimate investment firm that was threatening to sue her. No broken kneecaps, no mysterious accidents, just regular legal action. So Celeste had lied about being in physical danger. She had manipulated everyone, including our parents, into thinking her life was at risk when really she was just facing a completely normal lawsuit." "Where are Mom and Dad living now?" "Yes. They're renting a small apartment with Celeste and Brandon. All four of them crammed into a two-bedroom place. From what I hear, it's not going well. Lots of fighting, lots of tension. A few months passed and I heard through the grapevine that my family was trying to contact me through mutual friends. They wanted to apologize, to explain themselves, to somehow rebuild our relationship. Every time someone brought it up, I said no. Lydia called me one more time about it. Your mom asked me to tell you she's sorry. She said they realized they handled everything wrong, that they made terrible mistakes. It's too late for sorry. I told her they spent 5 years not caring whether I was alive or dead. Then they demanded I bankrupt myself for Celeste's mistakes. Then they committed actual crimes because I wouldn't do what they wanted. I'm done. But they're your family, Maribel. No, they're not. Family doesn't abandon you for 5 years and then show up demanding money. Family doesn't hire private investigators to stalk you. Family doesn't break into houses with baseball bats because they don't get their way. Elliot had been listening to my side of the conversation. When I hung up, he took my hand and squeezed it gently. You okay? I'm perfect, actually. And I was. We'd found a house we both loved and were preparing to make an offer. I was doing incredibly well at work and had even gotten a significant promotion. Most importantly, I didn't have to deal with their endless drama anymore. He smiled at me with that look that still made my heart skip. Speaking of the house we love, I was thinking about making an offer that's bigger than just on the house. He got down on one knee right there in his living room and pulled out a ring box that took my breath away. Maribel, will you marry me? We can buy that house together and start our real life, the one we've been dreaming about. I started crying happy tears for the first time in what felt like forever. Absolutely. We got engaged that day and put an offer on the house that weekend. Our offer was accepted immediately, and we're planning to get married next year in the backyard of our new home. Sometimes I think about my family and wonder if I made the right choice, cutting them off completely. Those moments of doubt usually last about 30 seconds, and then I remember how peaceful my life has been without their constant manipulation and emotional terrorism. Celeste created her own problems through a series of terrible business decisions and an inability to learn from her mistakes. Mom and Dad chose to enable her destructive behavior instead of letting her face the natural consequences of her actions. They all chose to harass and threaten me instead of dealing with their own issues like adults. And when I refused to be manipulated, they chose to commit actual crimes. I chose to build a life with someone who loves and supports me unconditionally. I chose to protect my financial security and my mental health. I chose to surround myself with people who don't try to manipulate me or treat me like a walking ATM. I think I chose much, much better. Elliot and I are deep into planning our wedding, talking about maybe having kids someday, dreaming about the garden we want to plant next spring. My career is thriving in ways I never imagined, and I wake up every single day feeling genuinely happy and at peace. Really, truly content with the life I've built. And none of that would have been possible if I'd let my family drag me back into their mess. If I'd sacrificed my future for their dysfunction. So no, I don't regret cutting them off. Not for a single second. Sometimes the people who are supposed to love you unconditionally are actually the ones who place the most impossible conditions on that love. And sometimes walking away from toxic family members is the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for your future. The hardest boundaries we set are often the ones that finally set us free. And freedom, I've learned, is worth every sacrifice it takes to achieve it.
Deji tried hard and he found the money. He saw things in the house. He saw the freezer. He saw the television. Gbemi was furious. She was boiling. But Deji had already made up his mind and nobody was going to change it. He gathered every morning and sent Dotun to school. Years passed. Dotun finished. He came out well and found a good job. A job that was paying him well. Meanwhile, Gbemi made sure Dayo also went to university. But she did not send him to any ordinary school. She pushed Deji to send Dayo to a private university, the best one she could find. She wanted Dayo to come out and be bigger than Dotun. She wanted her son to overshadow him completely. But life did not cooperate with Gbemi's plan. Dayo finished school and could not find a good job. He was managing something that was very, very small. Meanwhile, Dotun's salary was sitting comfortably far above what Dayo was earning. One evening, Gbemi was alone in the bedroom. She was thinking on the bed. Her mind was running. She was thinking about everything, about Dayo, about Dotun, about how it was supposed to go differently. She sat there talking to herself. God, why? Why would this boy have everything? The child whose mothers die, he has everything, and my own son is struggling. Why? She eased. Dotun, why can't you just follow your mother? Why are you still here enjoying life? She thought for a moment, then said, no problem. I will deal with you. I will make your life miserable. Just watch and see. Few days later, Gbemi started. She came to meet Deji in the sitting room. Deji was just relaxing. Gbemi sat down beside him and started talking. Deji, this thing is not fair at all. Deji look at her. What thing? This Dotun situation. See how that boy is living fine and our own son Dayo is struggling. Is that how it's supposed to be? Deji kept quiet for a moment. Then he turned and looked at his wife. Gbemi. Then Gbemi snapped. What? Deji continue. Which Dotun situation? What situation are you talking about? Then Gbemi replied, I am talking about. Then Deji cut in. No. He sat up straight. Wait, let me understand what you are saying. Are you comparing my two sons right now? Is that what is happening here? I am saying, Gbemi, his voice dropped low. Dotun is your son too. He is your son too. So where is this comparison coming from, eh? Where? Gbemi eased and looked away. Don't do that, Deji said. Don't ease at me. Answer the damn question. Where is the comparison coming from? I am just saying Dayo should also what? Deji stood up slowly. Dayo went to school. I pay for it. I pay for a private university because you wanted it. I did everything you asked me to do. So what exactly is the problem now? What do you want from me, Gbemi? Gbemi folded her arms. I just feel like, hey, Gbemi. Deji pointed at her. Don't start what you cannot finish. Oh, I am warning you. I am warning you from today because I have seen this thing before. I know where this road is going and I do not want to go there with you. He moved closer. I do not want the situation where you will turn my sons against each other. I have seen this coming for a long time. I am telling you now, do not do it. Do not do it. Let me open her mouth. I am done, Deji said. He picked up his phone and walked out of that sitting room, leaving Gbemi sitting there alone. Hot and angry, but you know Gbemi was not done at all. She was just getting started. Dotun, on the other hand, was focused and worked so hard while sending money home every month. Money for his father, money for Gbemi, and he was just being a good son and doing well for himself. But at the back of his mind, he knew it was time to find a good woman and settle down. So he was looking, but he was not desperate at all. Then one afternoon, Dotun went to a supermarket. He was picking up a few things when he mistakenly walked straight into someone. He looked up. The woman looked up. They both froze. Victoria, Dotun, hey! That is how it starts. Victoria was their deputy class rep back in school. She was sharp, quiet, and very smart. Dotun remember her well. They stood there in that supermarket, laughing and talking like no time had passed at all. They exchanged numbers before they left, and from that day, something just clicked between them. They started seeing each other, calling, visiting, going out. Everything was smooth and easy. They genuinely liked each other. Several months passed, but Dotun knew Victoria was the one for him. Months passed, and things between Dotun and Victoria were going very well. Dotun was already planning in his head how to do the introduction, when to bring her home, how to do everything properly. Then one afternoon his phone rang. It was his father. Dotun, my son. Daddy, good afternoon, sir. How are you today? I am fine, my son. Listen, your stepmother and I are planning to come to Lagos. There is a small ceremony we want to attend. We will be coming next weekend. Daddy, no problem at all. You are very welcome. I will even use the opportunity to introduce both of you to my fiancé. We were already planning to come home before. Deji Cotton, Dotun. So if I did not call you now, you will not have said anything, Abi. You were just going to keep this thing to yourself. Daddy, it is not like that, oh. Then what is it like? You have a fiancé and your father does not know? Your father that is still alive and well. How long have you people been together, eh? Daddy, I was going to tell you now. Tell me when? On the wedding day? Eh? Daddy, Dotun laughed. It is not like that now. I was waiting for the right time. Everything just happened fast, and I wanted to be sure before I brought it to you. Sure of what? Sure of what exactly, Dotun? Is she not a human being? What were you waiting for to be sure about? Daddy, I am sure now. That is why I am telling you. Deji is. You and your mouth. Okay, fine. So tell me about her. Who is she? Where is she from? Her name is Victoria, sir. We were actually classmates in school. She was our deputy class rep. Oh, the voice softened a little. So you people have known each other for a long time. Yes, sir. We just reconnected recently and everything just fell into place. Deji was quiet for a moment, then said, hope she is a good woman, Oh, daddy, she is a very good woman. You will see for yourself when you come. Okay, Deji said. Then his voice went serious again. But Dotun, next time something like this is happening in your life, you will call me first. You hear me? I am your father. Yes, sir. I hear you, daddy. Good, Deji said. Then quietly, I am happy for you, my son. Dotun smiled. Thank you, daddy. But on the other side of that house in Akure, Gbemi had been listening. She did not say a word though, while Deji was on the phone. She just sat there, but her mind was already calculating. Deji came back inside after dropping the call and sat down beside Gbemi. That was Dotun, he said, smiling. The boy has a fiancée. Her name is Victoria. They were classmates in school. Gbemi looked at him. Then she looked away. Did you hear what I said? I heard you, she said flatly. Deji waited for her to say something more. She said nothing. Just sat there with her face straight. Gbemi, Is that all you have to say? Your stepson is getting married. Gbemi eased quietly and shifted on her seat. So far he thinks we are witches. Nothing concerns me with his shenanigans. Let him marry. What does it have to do with me? Deji looked at his wife for a long moment, then he shook his head and said nothing. The following weekend, Deji and Gbemi came to Lagos. Dotun had prepared everything. Victoria was there looking calm and decent. They sat together, ate together and talked about the wedding plans. Dotun was explaining the dates they were thinking about, the introduction, how they wanted to do everything properly. Deji was happy, genuinely happy. You could see it on his face. He kept nodding and smiling and asking questions. Gbemi sat there and smiled too. She laughed when everybody laughed. She said the right things at the right time. She held Victoria's hand and said, "You are welcome, my daughter." But her eyes were saying something completely different. They got back to Akure that evening. Deji was still in a good mood. He was talking about Dotun and Victoria, saying how much he liked the girl, how mature Dotun had become. Gbemi was nodding. But the moment Deji went inside to rest, Gbemi picked up her phone and called Dayo. It rang twice. "Mommy, Dayo, my son, how are you?" "I am fine, mommy." "How was Lagos?" "It was fine," she said quickly. "Listen, when are you getting married?" "Mommy," Dayo voice shifted. "From where is this coming from now? What kind of question is that? I am asking you a simple question. When are you getting married?" "Mommy, are you serious right now?" Dayo laughed a dry laugh. "I can barely feed myself. Which woman will want to marry me like this?" "Mommy, where is this coming from?" "Don't worry about that at all," Gbemi said. Her voice was calm. "Mommy, I said don't worry about it," she cut in. "I have already found a wife for you." "Mommy, what do you mean you have found a wife for me?" "You heard what I said. I have found someone. She is a good girl, decent family. Everything is fine. You know what you are going to do for me right now?" Let me continue. "Just get ready for me. That is all I am telling you. Just get ready." Dayo froze for a moment. Then he burst out laughing. "Mommy!" "What?" "Mommy!" He laughed again. "So you went to Lagos and came back and now you want to marry me off? Just like that?" "Mommy, what happened in Lagos?" Gbemi said nothing. "Mommy, talk now. What happened?" "Nothing happened," she said. "Can a mother not think about her son's future? Is that a crime now?" "Mommy, you are not telling me something oh." "Dayo," her voice went firm. "I said just get ready. Stop asking me unnecessary questions." Dayo laughed. "Yes, mommy," he said. "Good," Gbemi said. She dropped the call and sat there in her room because she has had everything planned out. Hey, bestie, we don't really know what is going to happen to Victoria and Dotun because Gbemi is at the end of destroying everything and we don't know what is going to happen. So let's stay tuned and watch what is going to happen to them. Gbemi did not waste any time. The same day, she dropped that call with Dayo. She went straight to her herbalist. She came back with two things, a powder and a lace fabric. Fine fabric, the kind that looked like a genuine gift. She sat down alone and did what she had to do with the fabric. Then she called Dayo. Dayo responded, "Hello, mommy. I am sending something to your house, a fabric. Very fine lace oh. I want you to take it to Dotun's house and give it to Victoria." Dayo keep quiet for a moment. Then he replied, "Mommy, why am I the one taking it? Because I am asking you to. Is that not enough reason? But mommy, I can just send it through dispatch." Dayo, her voice was flat. "Take the fabric yourself. Hand it over to her yourself. That is all I am saying." Dayo sighed. "Okay, mommy. Good." She dropped the call. Then she called Dotun. "Dotun, my son. Good afternoon, mommy. How are you? How is Victoria?" "We are fine, mommy. She is here." "Okay, good." Gbemi voice was warm and sweet. "Listen, I got a very fine lace for our wedding fabric. I want her to have it so she can see the sample and we can decide if we want to use it for the wedding. I am sending it through Dayo. He will bring it to the house." "Ah, mommy, thank you. That is very kind of you. She is my daughter now. Gbemi said softly. "I have to take care of her. I will tell her. She will be very happy. Okay, my son, greet her for me oh." She dropped the call and sat back. The fabric reached Dayo the next day. He carried it and went to Dotun's house. Victoria opened the door and said, "Dayo, Dotun is not back yet, but come in. I won't stay. Mommy sent this for you." He brought it out and placed it directly in her hands. Victoria spread it open. "Hey, this is so fine. Your mommy really know fabric oh." Dayo smiled. "I will tell her." They talked a little, then he left. The next morning, Victoria woke up and something was just off. She could not place it. She was restless. Her mind was not with her. She picked up her phone and called Dayo. "Are you home?" "Yes, why?" "I am coming." Victoria. She had already dropped the call. She picked her bags and walked out. One visit became two. Two became every day, and before anybody could explain anything, Victoria and Dayo were already dating. Then one day, Victoria packed her things and moved out of Dotun's house without any explanation. Dotun came back that evening and met an empty house. He called her. She picked. "Victoria, where are you? Your things are..." "Dotun, do not call me again." He froze. "What?" "We are done. Do not call me. Do not look for me." "Victoria, what did I do? Just talk to me. What happened? What did I..." "Dotun, I beg you in the name of God, do not call this number again." She cut the call. He called back. She did not pick. He went to her family house. They said she was not around. He asked her friends. Nobody could tell him anything useful. Weeks passed. Dotun was miserable. He was asking himself the same question every morning. What went wrong? He had no answer. He did not know, not even in his wildest thoughts, that the woman he was searching for was in his own brother's house. So Dayo and Victoria went to Deji and Gbemi's house. They sat down in that sitting room, looking comfortable, like people that had not done anything wrong. Dayo cleared his throat and said, "Daddy, mommy, I beg Victoria, we want to marry." Deji looked at Dayo, then he looked at Victoria. Then he looked back at Dayo. "Who did you say you want to marry?" "Victoria, sir." "This Victoria? This same Victoria that was supposed to marry your brother Dotun?" Dayo shifted in his seat. "Daddy, it is not like..." "Get out." Dayo froze. "I said get out of my house. Both of you. Not under my watch. Not in this house. Never. Get out." Victoria opened her mouth. "Sir, please just listen. I never loved Dotun. It is Dayo that I love. My heart." "Your heart?" Deji laughed. A dry, short laugh. "Your heart. You people did not want to go, abi? No problem, I am coming. He stood up and walked inside. By the time he came out, he came back with a bucket of water and poured it on both of them. Get out of my house now! They jumped up, wet and shocked. Victoria was shaking. Dayo could not even talk. If I see the two of you in the front of this house again, then Deji pointed at the door. Get out. They grabbed their bags and ran out. The door had barely closed when Gbemi came out of the room. Her face was tight, her eyes were red and filled with anger. Deji, what is wrong with you? Gbemi, do not start. No, 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 no. She stepped forward. What is wrong with you? Your son came here to tell you he wants to marry. Instead of you to be happy, you poured water on him. You chase him out like a dog. What kind of father does that? Gbemi, that boy is my son. She caught him sharp. My son said he wants to marry this woman. You are standing here trying to block his joy. I will not watch you ruin this. I will not watch you do this to him. Gbemi. Listen, baby, listen to yourself now. Then the voice dropped low and dangerous. Do you know what you are saying? Do you know what your son has done? That is Dotun's woman. Dotun's woman. The same Dotun that is sending money to this house every month. The same Dotun. Hey, mister, I don't care. Gbemi snapped. This is my son's joy. This is my son's happiness, and I will support it with my full chest. Full chest, Deji. Deji looked at his wife, really looked at her. Then he said, over my dead body. That wedding will not happen. I mean, over my dead body. Not while I am alive. You and your son can go to hell. He turned and walked inside. Gbemi stood there alone in that sitting room, shaking, but not from sadness, but from anger. Deji was confused and did not know how to put his words together. He had to tell Dotun, but how? Every time he picked his phone to call him, he would drop the phone. What was he going to say? How do you call your son and tell him that his brother, the only one he grew up with, had taken this woman and that his own mother planned the whole thing? He tried several times. He would die, then cut the call. Days passed like that. Meanwhile, Dotun was not fine. He was walking, but it was lifeless. One evening, he called his friend John. John, I need you to come over. Not long, John arrived. They sat down and Dotun opened up. He told him everything. Victoria's living and how he had searched everywhere for her and found nothing. John listened, then he shook his head and said, Dotun, this is not normal. This thing you are describing is not normal at all. What do you mean? I mean what I said. This is not ordinary. A woman that loved you like that just wake up one morning and disappear without no reason, no fights, nothing. Dotun, that is not how human being behaves. Dotun sighed in confusion. I know somebody, John said. A pastor, let us go and see him. Just come with me. Everything will be fine. They both went to the pastor. When they got there, he prayed. After the prayer, he opened his eyes and looked at Dotun carefully. My son, I want you to do something. Sir, travel to Akure, go and see your parents, but before you go, buy a white lace fabric. Take it with you as a gift. Dotun frowned. Sir, those are the same people I send money to every month. I was not planning to go to Akure anytime soon. Things are tight for me right now. My son, the pastor cut in gently. Go next weekend. Do not wait. Go next weekend. Dotun opened his mouth to talk again. Next weekend, the pastor repeated. Dotun closed his mouth and nodded slowly. Dotun traveled down, and when he got to Akure that Saturday afternoon, he entered his father compound and stopped. Right there in the middle of that compound, Dayo and Victoria were leaning down. Gbemi and her friend were standing over them praying. Fabric everywhere. It was an introduction. Dotun stood at the gate and could not move. His eyes went to Victoria. Is Victoria the same woman that packed her things and disappeared without a word? And she was right there, dressed up, kneeling down, doing introduction with his own stepbrother. He said nothing. He just stood there confused. Then Gbemi looked up and saw him. Their eyes locked and something happened. Then immediately, Gbemi's face changed. Her eyes went wide. Then she remembered. The herbalist had warned her. He told her clearly, do not let Dotun see your face before the wedding is done. If he sees you face to face before they marry, there will be consequences. Gbemi will lose her mind and Victoria will come back to her senses. But it was too late. They had already seen each other. Victoria jumped up from her kneeling position like something shocked her. What am I doing here? Everybody froze. Why am I dressed like this? What is going on? What is happening? She was looking around confused, touching her clothes, looking at her hands. Dayo, why am I here? What is this? Dayo stood up slowly. Victoria, do not touch me. She stepped back. What is going on? Somebody should talk to me now. What is this place? Why am I here? The compound went silent. Then Gbemi started laughing abnormally. She started walking in circles, talking to herself. Her eyes were no longer focused. Dotun's eyes were still on Victoria. Victoria turned and saw him standing at the gate. She looked at him for a long time. Then her face broke down. Dotun, he said nothing. Dotun, I swear, I did not know what happened to me. Oh, I do not know how I get here. I do not even know anything. Please, Dotun, please believe me. I know. Dotun said quietly, I know you did not do this to yourself. Then please forgive me. Please let us go back. Whatever happened, I don't. Victoria, he stopped her gently. I believe you. I believe every word you are saying right now, but I cannot. He shook his head slowly. I cannot go back. Every time I look at you, I will remember this day. I will remember all of it. I cannot carry that. I cannot do that to you or to myself. Victoria covered her mouth, tears streaming down her face. Dotun looked at her one last time. Then he looked away. It was at this point that Gbemi started confessing what just pouring out from her mouth. She was saying how she went to the herbalist, she got the fabric, how she put something on it before sending it to Victoria, how she planned everything from the beginning, how she had planned since the day she had Dotun was getting married. The whole compound had everything. Then Deji walked in. You looked at his compound. You looked at Gbemi. You looked at the introduction setup. You looked at Dayo. He stood there and looked at everything in there. Then he spoke. So because I was not around, you people went behind my back and did all these things. Okay, no problem. I will deal with all of you mercilessly. He went inside. He came out with a cutlass. Benny! People scattered. Two men rushed and grabbed him. They were struggling with him, pulling the cutlass away. Did you calm down now? Calm down. Leave me, oh. Leave me, oh. Let me deal with this woman. God has already dealt with her now. Leave her. Deji was breathing hard. His chest was going up and down. He looked at Gbemi, who was still scattered, still talking to herself and still laughing. He dropped his hand. Then Dotu turned to his father. Daddy. Deji looked at his son. You knew all these things and you said nothing to me. Dotu, my son. Daddy. All all my life, this woman did things to me and you were there. You saw everything, but you kept quiet. Every time you kept quiet, Dotun, how was I supposed to come and tell you something like this now? Daddy, Dotun cutting. Even before all this, when I was a child, when she was maltreating me, when she was making my life miserable, you were there. You saw it, but you did nothing. You kept quiet and watched. Then you looked down. I thought living with you meant I had a father. I thought because you said you loved my mother, that meant something. But every time this woman raised her hand against me, you looked away. Except for grandma, only grandma stood for me, and she's gone now. His eyes were wet, but his voice did not shake. I don't know if I can forgive you, oh daddy, but I will try. I will just try and be calm. No problem, oh. No problem. I will not say anything. I will not say anything. He turned and walked away from that compound. The herbalist work came through completely. Baby was never the same again after that day. She was not seen in that compound. Nobody knew where she went. People said different things, but nobody could confirm anything. As for Dayo, the herbalist had said plainly, the day Victoria regained her senses, Dayo will never be successful in life and will never marry. And that is exactly how it happened. Dayo life stood still. Nothing moved. Nothing happened. But Dotun picked up his life. He forgave his father. And after 2 years, he found another love. He got married to the woman and they gave birth to a two. Many years ago, in the city of Akure, there lived a man named Deji. Deji was a hard-working man who worked in a tech firm. He was the kind of man that woke up very early in the morning with purpose, focused, dedicated, and serious about his life. Deji did not just work hard, he also loved well. He married a beautiful woman named Motun, and the two of them were living their best lives together. Their home was full of laughter, love, and peace. People that saw them together would just smile because you could tell these two people genuinely love each other. Then the news came that made their joy even bigger. Motun became pregnant. Hey, you needed to see how happy everybody was. Deji was over the moon. His mother, Mrs. Ojo, was dancing. The whole family was excited. They were counting down the days, preparing everything and making sure Motun was comfortable. When the day of the delivery started approaching, Motun got sick. It started small, but it became serious very fast. Deji rushed out to the hospital and the doctor did everything they could. The baby came safe and sound, but during the delivery, something went wrong. Motun did not make it. She left the baby behind and went to a place none of them could follow. Deji stood in that hospital and his whole world collapsed right in front of him. After Deji finished mourning Motun, Deji was not himself anymore. He would wake up and say nothing to anyone. The man that used to laugh and fill the house with energy was completely gone. The baby was there, crying, feeding, growing, but Deji could not even look at him. Then one day, Mrs. Ojo walked up to him gently and sat him down. Deji, my son, we need to name this child. We cannot keep calling him baby forever. Hey! Deji jumped up like something biting. His eyes were red. His voice was shaking. Mama, please, do not mention that baby to me. Mrs. Ojo held her chest. My son, Mama, look at me. Deji cutting. Look at me very well. My life is empty. My life is full of shame. You can see how the whole world is against me. And you are here telling me to name a yeye baby. That baby that took the holy source of my joy from me. His voice cracked. Ah, Mama, you are wicked oh. Just let me be, I beg you. Then he eased and walked away, leaving his mother standing there with tears running down her face. Mrs. Ojo did not have a choice. She wiped her tears, carried that baby in her arm, and said, I name you Dotun from today. Since his father could not do it, his grandmother did. And from that day, Dotun lived with his grandmother, Mrs. Ojo. Mrs. Ojo took care of Dotun. He will bathe him, sing for him, feed him, and became Mrs. Ojo's resting place. 7 years passed. Deji remained unmarried. He was just existing, going to work, coming back home, living like a man that had lost his color. Dotun was growing up fine under his grandmother's care, but Deji kept his distance. The pain of losing Motun was still sitting on his chest like something he could not remove. Then one day, Mrs. Ojo called Deji to her house. Deji came and sat down quietly. Mrs. Ojo looked at her son and she began, My son, Olowo ori mi, my source of joy. Mama, Deji answered quietly, I know you are still grieving. I know, my son, but you cannot keep dwelling in the past. It is time to move forward. Deji looked away. Mama, please. No. Listen to me. She moved closer. Marry another woman, my son. A woman that will take care of Dotun and give him the best in life. Mama, this is not easy oh. I know. She held his hand tight. But as you can see, I am becoming weak oh. I cannot keep taking care of Dotun the way I used to. I beg you, my son. By now, Deji's face were filled with tears. Mama, this is hard. I know, my son, I know. Then slowly, Deji nodded. He accepted. Not long after that conversation with his mother, Deji picked himself up and decided to move forward. He started searching, and before long, he found someone. Her name was Gbemi. Gbemi was a very beautiful woman, calm, easy to be around. When she came into that house, she brought life back into it. She took care of Dotun like he was her own child. She would cook for him, check his own work, play with him, and make sure he was comfortable. Deji watched all of this and his heart was full. He felt like maybe, just maybe, things were finally getting better. But then, Gbemi got pregnant and everything changed. It started small, a sharp word here, a cold look there. Then it became more frequent. She started picking on Dotun at every small opportunity. If he breathed wrong, she had something to say. If he moved wrong, she had something to say. Deji noticed, but he kept telling himself, she's pregnant. It is the pregnancy talking. It will pass, Jare. As you can see that Deji has married Gbemi. Do you think this Gbemi is going to do right or is going to do wrong? Because now she's pregnant. And now we just think that maybe it's the pregnancy that is making her to behave like this. But let's continue watching to the end. We don't know what may happen. But it did not pass. Then one day, Dotun was sitting quietly in the sitting room, watching TV. Then Gbemi walked in. She took one look at him, sitting there, and something just snapped inside him. Hey, are you okay? Is something wrong with you? Dotun looked up confused. Ma, don't ma me. Where is your manners? There is a pile of dirty plates sitting inside that kitchen and you are here watching this nonsense on TV like you have no sense. Ma was just what? Just what exactly? Gbemi cut him off sharply. See, before I open my eyes, you better get up from that chair, enter that kitchen and wash every single plate in there. Now, I mean now. Dotun did not say another word. He quietly stood up, dropped the remote and walked straight into the kitchen. His hand reached for the plate and he started washing one by one. And so the days continue. Gbemi did not stop. If anything, she got worse. Every single day, there was something. Every single day, Dotun was at the receiving end of her anger. The boy just kept quiet and endured everything. What else could he do? Then Gbemi gave birth to a baby boy. They named him Dayo. Deji looked at his family and breathed a sign of relief. He told himself, now that she has given birth, everything will go back to normal. She will calm down now. Hey, Deji was wrong, oh. Instead of things getting better, Gbemi shifted gear. Now she has a new weapon, her own son Dayo. Anything that Dotun had, anything that caught Dotun's interest, Gbemi made sure Dayo took it. New clothes, Dayo gets the better one. Food, Dayo eats first and gets the bigger share. Dotun things were never safe in that house. And when Dayo would cry or complain, Gbemi would pull him close, look him dead in the eyes, and whisper, don't worry, my baby, don't cry. But mommy, Dotun has... Shh! Gbemi cut him softly. You are the son of your father. Dotun cannot take your place, oh. You hear me? You are not a bastard. He is. You are number one in this house. Dayo wiped his tears and sniffed. Everything your father has belongs to you, my son. Nobody can take it if anybody tries anything. In this house, I will make sure I deal with it. Just calm down, okay? Calm down. And Dayo would nod, not even fully understanding what his mother was planting inside him. Years passed, just like that. Dotun kept his head down, worked hard in school, and before long, he finished his secondary school. And not just finished, he got admission into the university. The whole house was supposed to be celebrating. Deji was planning, sorting things out, making sure everything was ready to send Dotun off to school. But Gbemi was washing, and Gbemi was thinking, oh, I need to do something about this thing. This boy cannot go like that. Then one evening, Deji had just come back from work. He was tired, but his mind was on Dotun's school fees. He sat down on the bed and started going through his phone, checking his account balance and doing his calculations. Gbemi walked in. She was looking calm and sweet. She sat beside him on the bed and smiled. Babe. Deji answered without looking up. You looked stressed, oh. Are you okay? I am fine, oh. He dropped his phone. I'm just trying to sort out Dotun's school fee. The session is starting soon and I don't want him to miss it. Gbemi nodded slowly. Oh, okay. Then she was quiet for a moment. Then she shifted closer. Babe, actually, that is not what I wanted to talk to you about. Deji looked at her. What is it? See, Gbemi started, her voice soft and careful. I did not want to bother you with this, but that your school sent a letter. They are changing his school fees structure, and if we don't pay by next week, they will give his sports to another child. Deji frowned. And how much are we talking about? Let me mention the amount. It was almost exactly what Deji had kept aside for Dotun. Gbemi, that is a lot of money. Oh. I know, babe, I know. She placed her hand on his. But Dayo cannot leave that school. He just settled in. You know how much that school means to his future. Deji rubbed his face. But what about Dotun's school fees? I was supposed. Babe, let me cut in gently. Dotun is a big boy. He will understand. He can wait for the next academic section. It is just a few months. Nothing will happen. Baby, I don't know. Deji. She looked at him with soft eyes. Which one is more urgent? A child that will lose his school space this week, or a university admission that can wait? Think about it. Deji sat there quietly. He was tired, he was stressed, and Gbemi's words were smooth and heavy at the same time. Then slowly, he reached for his phone and made the transfer and handed Gbemi the money. Make sure you sort out Dayo's school. Gbemi collected it with both hands and smiled. Thank you, baby. God bless you for me. She stood up, walked out of that room, and the moment she stepped out, the smile on her face changed into something else entirely. And just like that, the money was gone. So Deji sat Dotun down and said, my son, you will have to wait for the next academic session. Dotun looked at his father. Sir, I don't have the money right now. Just wait. Next session, we will sort everything out. Dotun said nothing. He just nodded and walked away. But the pain on that boy's face, hey, it was the kind of pain that breaks ties. Not long, news reached Mrs. Ojo, the grandmother, and Mrs. Ojo did not sit down. She came to that house like a woman on a mission. She walked straight to Deji and faced him. Deji, are you insane? Deji, who was not expecting his mother, stood up and said, Mama, I said, are you mad? Why are you treating that boy like that? He deserves to go to school. I don't care where you want to find that money. Oh, go and find that money right away. Mama, please, lower your voice. Lower my voice? Mrs. Ojo laughed a dry laugh. Ha ha. Me, lower my voice? For what exactly? Now, inside the room, Gbemi was listening. She was pacing up and down, her face tight with anger, talking to herself. Oh, this woman has come again. This woman has come again. What kind of rubbish is this? Why will she come here to disrupt everything? Why? She was still pacing when she heard her name. Gbemi, Gbemi, come out here. Gbemi stopped. She took a breath and fixed her face and walked out. Mrs. Ojo turned and looked at her straight in the eyes. Then she began, you are a wicked woman. You are a wicked woman. Gbemi opened her mouth. I said, you are a wicked woman. Oh, Mrs. Ojo repeatedly and slowly. Even if my son Deji has no sense, and clearly he doesn't, you, Gbemi, you don't have sense too? The room was dead silent. Just imagine, it is Dayo. that is in this position, will you have done this to him? Will you have told him to wait for the next academic section? Answer me now. Oh, Gbemi said nothing. I don't care how you and my son want to find out money. Oh. Mrs. Ojo's voice was shaking now. This boy must go to school. If not, I will do something stupid to the both of you. I promise you that. She grabbed her bag and walked straight out of that house. Mama, Mama, Deji ran after her. Mama, please listen to me. Mama, please. Mrs. Ojo spun around with fire in her eyes. Deji, if you do not find a solution to this problem, you will lose me as your mother. I mean, every single word. Then she flagged down a taxi, got in, and was gone. And Deji stood there on that street, watching the taxi disappear. He was confused, ashamed of himself. By the time Deji entered the house, Gbemi was already pacing up and down the sitting room. Her arms were folded, her face was tight, and the moment she saw Deji walk through the door, she spun around and faced him. Why is your mother shouting at me? Deji said nothing. He just stood there, as if I am a bad person. If she truly wants her grandson to go to school, why can't she pay the money? Why can't she send him herself? Why is she coming here to shout at me? Deji looked at his wife. Something was burning slowly inside him. Then he spoke. Gbemi, what? Please. His voice was low and tight. Please, 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 I beg you in the name of God. What my mother said is right. She is right. I am feeling guilty right now. I should never have given you that money. Let me open her mouth, but Deji continued. At least we could have changed that your school. That was possible, but Dotun, we should not have done this to that boy. We should not have done it. Gbemi's eyes went wide. Is that why your mother is shouting at me? Huh? Am I the cause of all this problem? Did I not take care of that boy? Did I not? Gbemi. She stopped. Shut up. Deji's voice cracked the whole room. Please just shut up. What are you even saying right now? Is my mother not right? Is she not right? Gbemi took a step back. I have seen a lot of things in this house. Deji shook his head slowly. Oh Jesus, I feel so stupid right now. I should have seen through you the moment you came to me with that story about that your school fees. I should have seen through it all. He paused and looked straight at her. Let me ask you something, Gbemi. Assuming it is Dayo that is in this position, assuming it is your son that got the admission, will you have allowed me to take money that belongs to Dayo and give it to Dotun? Will you have sat quietly and said yes? Answer me now. Oh. Gbemi opened her mouth. Answer me, Gbemi. She said nothing. Exactly. Deji nodded slowly. You will have brought down this entire house, but because it is Dotun, you are standing here acting like nothing happened. That is not your own definition of taking care of that boy. Gbemi eased and looked away. Anyway, he said quietly, I don't have anything else to say to you. You see this freezer? I am selling it. You see this television? I am selling it. And I will gather the money and send Dotun to school. You will not dare. You will not dare. Gbemi stepped forward with her full chest. You want to sell our television? Or what am I hearing? You want to sell our freezer? For what exactly? For what exactly? Because you want to send that thing. That thing. Shut up. Then you pointed at her. Hold it right there. Why are you calling Dotun a thing? Why are you calling my son a thing? Does it not have a name? Gbemi is. You are my wife. Deji's eyes were red now. Don't you ever try that again. He's a human being. And moreover, he has a name and he's going to school. Do you hear me? I don't care what you want to do, Gbemi. I don't care. Then Gbemi cut in. Good. Because I don't care what you want either. Then you cut her off. Everything I have said, I will do it. That boy is going to school. Full stop. This television and this freezer. Gbemi, step closer. You are not selling anything in this house. Nothing. Deji looked at her slowly. Then a dry smile crossed his face. Let me ask you something. His voice became calm and very dangerous. Are you challenging me? Gbemi stood her ground. Try it and see. Okay? Deji nodded. Let us see then. Did you buy this television? Did you buy this freezer? Did you bring one cupboard to buy anything in this house? Let us see. Let's see how you want to play this game. Let us see who will stop me. Gbemi stood there, her mouth wide open, then closed, then opened again, but nothing came out. Then she turned around and walked out of that sitting room, leaving Gbemi standing there with her mouth wide open.